What do you get a goal getter? What do you get somebody who has everything? Somebody who keeps hitting their goals, setting goals and hitting their goals. Look here, man. Head over to goalhat.com and go pick them up a hat or two. They'll appreciate it. Trust me. Back to the episode.
Yo, peace family. It's your brother, Rockman Ali. Like he said, the boxer, the boxing trainer, the owner and operator and head coach over at A Fighter for Life, Boxing and Fitness, Zone 3 Atlanta, Metropolitan Parkway. We out here grinding, man. We doing the work, you know. We making sure that everybody get what they need when they come to the center.
Dope center too, as y'all can see behind me. That's just a part of it. It's really dope center, man. Y'all need to come through. Matter of fact, before we even start, can you give me your all your information real quick?
Please go and check us out on the afighterforlife.com website. Check us out on Instagram at A Fighter for Life, and that is the numerical 4. I'm sure we'll make sure you get that right. Also, check out our non-profit work at theafighterforlifeproject.org, where we're doing all kinds of community work to help the homeless and help our young people succeed by giving them the teachable moments of the sport and taking them to national competitions where they can face their fears, gain courage, and also gain insight on manhood and womanhood.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now that's an introduction right there. So, who are you?
I'm a brother. I'm your brother. I'm a community man. I'm a father. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a free spirit. I'm one that's here to serve. That's my thing. I love to serve, and that's kind of how I got into this business and got into this space of boxing, because I came to boxing trying to help myself gain courage, gain discipline, gain leadership skills. That was about 15 years ago, and now, you know, this thing is evolving to the point where I am the head coach. I'm a gym owner. I'm a philanthropist out here in the community trying to make a difference, and I'm doing it in what I like to coin as the spirit of a champion. And the spirit of a champion is what I learned in boxing, and so that's why once I started to feel what that was, I knew that was invaluable, and that was the thing that everybody needs. Everybody needs. And what I like to say is, now more than ever, you got to be a fighter for life. And the essence of that, now more than ever, you need to have the spirit of a champion, because adversity is at an all-time high. And that's what we doing in boxing. We learning how to overcome our adversities, all right? And we're finding a way to win through it all.
Okay. Next question. Where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years?
Lord willing, I see my business as a household name and a competitor with those household names that you know already, like LA Fitness, Nike, Adidas, Reebok, Title Boxing. I see myself competing in the apparel space. I see us with A Fighter for Life promotions, hosting some great talents, and also giving an opportunity to our homeless community to overcome their adversity and become professional fighters, starting through the amateurs and be growing into the pros. And also maybe one day, Lord willing, we see somebody come from all the way from the bottom, from homelessness to the top of the world through the Fighter for Life project. That's a vision of mine. That's not my personal vision, but you know, when I think about my service, I'm always thinking about others and what others can do. But when we think about just me, CEO of a high-powered multinational corporation called Fighter for Life.
That's dope. That's a heck of a vision right there, man.
It's
So
big, man. It's big.
I noticed a few times you said you wanted to like help the homeless, and like, what were you homeless at a time? Is that where you get your thrive and your admiration for the homeless from?
I was near homeless. Not quite homeless, because one thing about me, I was always gonna find a way. Thank God that He gave me the strength, the vision, the perseverance to find a way where I didn't end up in homelessness. Thank God that I had two parents that raised me well enough to give me the tools to be out here and be self-sustaining in this world. But I do recognize that everybody isn't as fortunate as me. And in my upbringing, even though I came from a middle class family, I found myself near homelessness, and I was getting to know homeless people. One of the first brothers that introduced me to Islam was a homeless man, and he would always provide me with the literature. Hey, yo, I got some literature for you. Yo, you need to check this out. You need to learn this. And I developed a kinship with the brother. And at the end of the day, I still had a place to go home to. But some of the brothers that I was bonding with and rapping with, because I didn't have a car, I was living in downtown Atlanta off of North Side and McDaniel Street, and walking the 5 Points. So this is how I was incurring all of this traffic, where I was coming across so many homeless people. And I'm not a person to think like I'm too good to talk to you, or that I can't learn something from you, or I can't grow in a way, because I recognize that it's something about the homeless population that a lot of us with money still need to learn, because I found them to be some of the happiest people, some of the people who are not overly concerned about certain situations, and not saying that it's a situation I want to be in. I would like to have a home, but to not always live in stress and not always live in fear. I see a lot of homeless people, they smile and they give you a beautiful greeting, they give you a warm greeting, and I'm like, well, that's something that we all can learn from, because they in some of the worst conditions, but yet they still find a way to give you a jewel, if it's just a smile, or give you a good word, or give you some good humor. And I really admire that, because going through my day, sometimes I can be stressed the fuck out, excuse my language, but I realize like, dang, I got it so much better than these people. So what is that's going on with them that I can learn from and I can grow from? So that was one of the things. But then, just my empathy and the understanding that, we got to deal with this plight of homelessness that's in our community, because I got children now, and I want to make sure that my girls are growing up in a clean, safe, and decent community. And in order for me to make sure that that is actually happening, we have to deal with homelessness. We can't let that just continue to be what it is. And when I look at other countries that have a lot less money than us, they don't have homelessness. I go to other cities, and even in this country, and the homelessness is like very small or little. But then when we're here in Atlanta, it's running rampant, it's going crazy. And it's just something in my spirit that's just telling me that, a Fighter for Life, the Fighter for Life project, and just the core meaning of a Fighter for Life, it has to deal directly with homelessness, and we have to put an end to it, or put a huge impact into it, where that the culture changes and the culture realizes that, hey, this is all of our problems. And I can't be satisfied and I can't be happy with my own self riding around in a luxury ride, and then I see my brother digging out the trash can. If I'm gonna be a real human being, I'm gonna recognize that that's my brother. I'm gonna recognize that that's my sister, and then there comes some accountability for me. Even though I didn't put them in that position, and even though I do understand a lot of them put their own self in that position, but also another thing I realized coming up in this world and coming up through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam is that when you see your brother acting outside of himself, just remember he was made in America. Because when we look at our brothers overseas, they working, they taking care of their families, and their homelessness is nothing compared to what the homelessness is in America. So we've been oppressed, and we've been in a situation where we've been made other than ourselves. So giving them a little touch of love, like to show them, brother, I love you like a brother, because we start to lose that touch with each other to just say that we love each other.
That's a fact.
And that's such a potent thing, because sometimes it ignites something in one's own self. That if a brother can tell me that he loved me, then what's in me that can help me learn to love myself? You know what I'm saying? To try to figure out how do I love myself a little bit better. And we went on our last homeless campaign, and it came back full circle that a brother came and got out of his car because he seen what we was doing, we was actually under the bridge that he lived under for 16 years.
Oh.
He walked up to me and you know, he thanked us for doing what it was that we were doing, because he said, you know, I lived under this bridge for 16 years, but it was because of people like you, and people like you who came and kept loving on me, that finally got me to pick myself up even after 16 years. And now he testified to how he was a business owner, a father, and a husband, and a homeowner. And it came from, you know, people evangelizing, showing that love, getting out there, getting in the community. So that was a big inspiration and a big confirmation to let me realize, like, yo, we got to do this work.
Yeah.
We got to do this work. It's worth it.
I was near homelessness too at one point in my life. So I definitely sleeping in the car, going to people, I just want to take a shower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's hard.
Just
man.
wanting to take a shower. Going to Kroger early in the morning, going to their bathroom early in the morning, just to wash up in the sink. You know what I mean? So I could go to work.
Yeah, I could testify to that. Yeah.
I was working at Comcast at the time, sleeping in the van. You know what I'm saying? Just doing what I had to do just to make it to that next day. And a lot of people didn't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I know with my family, if I would have let them know that, it would have been like, come on back home. Or here, take
Why
this.
you ain't been told me?
Yeah, why you ain't been, you should have been told me, I could have did this, I could did that.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, I wanna, like, I just took it upon myself to be like, that's the
I'm
easy
a man
way.
up. I'm gonna put my bootstraps on. Yeah.
That's the easy way
Yeah.
to just go home and tell mom and dad, you know what I mean? Look, I'm messed up down here, I'm hurting, I need this, I need that. But then like you said, I took it, I thought about it, because there's a saying, they say, if everybody throw their problems in the air, you be fighting to get yours back. People out here living
That's a bar.
way worse than you, and you don't even know
Right.
it. So I said, I got a job, I got a place to stay. It's a car, but now I mean, I got a place to stay. I cut the heat on, you know what I mean?
Right.
Got all the clothes in the back, but
Right.
so I definitely feel you on that. On that part of the journey.
Now to say, you know, I was near homeless, but I was never homeless. But in California, I can relate because I was out there trying to do my own thing. And really, I'm gonna be honest, we was on some hustle stuff. I was way younger. My mind frame was way different. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the culture of seeing, you know, the things that I was attracted to was the brothers who was getting money, riding clean. They had women, you know, and that was like, oh, that's what I want for my life. So the examples that they were showing was saying, hey, you know, you get this pack and this is what you do with it, and this is how you get what you desire in life. And I was going that route, so I went to Cali, and we thought we was gonna be making some moves similar to that out in California, and really ended up living in a motel. We stayed in a motel for a couple months, and then the PGA golf tournament came and raised the rates so high that we ain't had no place to stay. So we ended up staying at my homeboy's job, and he was working at a daycare at the time. So we would sleep in there at night and go like you said, the Gold's Gym, and we had a membership at Gold's Gym. So that's actually how I got introduced to boxing, was through that brother. And we was at Gold's Gym, and there was a boxing ring in there.
When year was that?
This was 2008. And the thing about this kid, his name was Scrappy. And you know, he became infamous just for them hands. And I always admired the way he could throw his hands. And he'd be in the club, and I'd watch him floating around the club, going to the music, just dropping people. I'm over there at that time. I'm thinking about getting numbers, dressing fly, using my fake ID to get some drinks. But I'm sitting over there watching them do their thing. And he went down to Georgia Southern a year before me.
What year was that?
And then that was 2004. He went down. I went down to Georgia Southern 2005. He had already made himself a legend at Georgia Southern at Scrappy because he had gotten a fight with like 30 people and still stood. And everybody just respected him. So I was like his little bro coming up under him, you know what I mean? I was like his little protege, you know, and then eventually we didn't make it through school, got to them packs too soon. I ended up catching the charge. Thank God I finally got all of that off my plate while I'm back full-fledged citizen. I just got my right to vote back. I got my right to carry. Yeah, it's a big moment for me to actually, be a full-fledged citizen. Not that I'm big on being a citizen, but I need to have my rights. If I so choose to vote, I would like to be able to vote. You know what I mean? Because I'm an upright citizen in the community, and I want to be able to cast my vote if I find a candidate worthy of the vote. Also, we see how crazy it is out here. So if I feel like I need to protect myself and protect my family, now I got the right to do that, Right. And just to all those young people, man, keep your head on straight, guys. Don't fall into the trap and the pitfalls of what the media and what society is telling you should be. Be true to yourself, man. Do the right thing. Make sure that you get your mind right, your body right, and your spirit right, and always stay positive. Avoid the negative and keep staying positive, and I guarantee over time you will be successful. Just stay true to the formula, be true to yourself, do the right thing, and over time I guarantee you will be successful. I'm living proof. I went through it. I caught a felony. The system had wrote me off 10 years probation. They thought I was coming back. I never came back. I even remember when I was locked up, a guy told me, man, just do your time. He said, just do your time, do the year or do the 2 years that they tell you, don't take the probation. Because the mindset's so institutionalized that they already know they gonna get in trouble again. So they rather just do the time up front than take the probation. But I wasn't going out like that. Like, thank God, he covered me. I made a couple more bad decisions, but thank God he covered me and I didn't fall victim to the system. I managed to get out the system, and now I'm just here for the young people to give them the ability to stay out of the system themselves.
So did boxing help turn your life around? Save your life?
Tremendously. I mean, boxing for me was everything, especially when I first came to the sport and just instantly fell in love with it. Like initially I was coming for mental discipline. I was coming to strengthen my mind, coming to strengthen my spirit, coming to gain courage, and then turned to find out I could actually fight. And I'm like, oh man, and I had never really fought as a youngster. I had a couple street fights, but that wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? I was more always just trying to build people and help people. That's always been in my nature. But then I started to find this other part of myself able to, deal with that high chaos moment and still keep my wits about me and actually do some real good stuff. And I still get in the ring even to this day. Last week I sparred a up and coming pro, and did really well. And I'm gonna keep doing my thing. You know what I mean? Because my story is yet to be written, but it definitely saved my life. It put me on the right track. It helped me enhance everything about myself so that I can be the person that I am today.
So you sparred a up and coming pro last week?
Yeah, well actually it was this week. It was Tuesday.
How was it?
It was good, man. And crazy, first time I actually caught a little black eye, right? And I guess I had to knock the ring rust off. But like I say, it's all good and it's fun, man, to get in there and be able to see what you can do after taking years and years of lay off and get in there with some good competition and know, I still can move. I still can do these things. I still got room for improvement.
Yeah.
So, I went through those moments on Tuesday, and, shouts out to the boys over there at School Bullies. It's our neighbor boxing gym. Serving the community, and I see that the owner over there, he got a similar mindset to mine, where they want to, get out in the community and serve. So we're looking for, a nice little partnership, Lord willing, down the line.
Did they come in and seek you out and ask you?
Nah, I went and sucked them out. I was like, yeah, how you know?
Jump in the ring with you?
Yeah, I mean, I know they our neighbor boxing gym.
Right.
And, I get kind of tired. I'm not tired. I love working with my students, but they still my students.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know them well.
Right.
I got a little bit of advantage because even in their mind,
test yourself out real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah, to put yourself to this. I get it.
Yeah, because I'm always easy. I mean, it's like it's nothing with my students, but I'm like, well, let me feel some of this real deal work. And like I say, you put a little shiner on my eye, but it's all good, man. It's a part of the sport, man.
It's a part of it.
You gotta love it, and if it's for you, it's for you. If it ain't, you can still benefit off of the fitness aspect.
Right.
Yeah, everybody wins at a Fighter for Life, guys. So Don't be afraid to come and pay us a visit thinking that you got to get in the ring like me or anybody that you see. It's all about self-improvement. Self-improvement is number one over here.
So let's take it back real quick. Scrappy got you into the boxing.
Yeah, shouts out Scrap. Yeah.
He got you into the boxing around
Yeah.
2008, right?
Yep.
And then when did you decide to when did you take it serious and was like, all right, this is what I want to do. I want to be a boxer. And did you attempt to go pro, or was it just you know what I mean? Like training.
So going back to Scrap introducing me 2008. So like I said, we had that brief stint in San Diego. We was at Gold's Gym, and I remember the first thing he told me I had to do was jump rope. And I couldn't jump rope, you know what I mean? Like, I got no rhythm and 2 left feet. That's
I love jumping rope,
hey,
man.
I
love jumping
It took me a minute, but you know, after a while, I finally started to catch that rhythm. I started to catch that beat. I started jumping rope. And, you know, we didn't get into a heavy part of the boxing training. He only showed me some little introductory things. And then we ended up fast forwarding. Now it's about 2009. And me and him, we actually in club promotions together right now. At this time, me and Scrap, his name's Darnell, we doing club promotions right now. And his father comes up to stay with us for a construction job that he landed. He landed a construction job in Atlanta. And his father knew Xavier Biggs. Xavier Biggs is the owner of Decatur Boxing Club over in Decatur. That was my home gym. And the initial idea was that we was gonna go and get Darnell in boxing and move that way. You know what I'm saying? Because we was all in promotions, and you know, he was known as a fighter. He could fight. You know what I mean? And his dad was like, "Yo, this is what you need to do."
Right.
So we took him over to Decatur Boxing. I don't know. I guess you know Darnell's heart wasn't in it or whatever, but he didn't stick with the training program. And neither did I. I didn't come that day to even. I came to support him and just watch him do his thing, right? But I was turned on. I was like, yo, this is kind of something that I feel like I needed for myself. Internally, I'm thinking I needed for myself. But at that time, I went around the side of the building and smoked a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't even thinking, like, yeah, you know. But it was intriguing. And that time had passed. Me and him, eventually, we kind of had a little bit of a falling out. You know, we still good now. He actually the one that did all my posters, you know what I'm saying? So we in the loop, you know what I'm saying? 20-year relationship, me and that brother. But he ended up moving out, and I was in that spot by myself, and I was starting to fall into a little bit of a darker space, you know what I mean? Dolo, we tried promotions wasn't working. I was a server at a hotel. I kind of hated it because it was like a good old boy conservative hotel.
And it wasn't your calling.
And it wasn't my calling, you know what I mean? But I know God had a plan by putting me into the hospitality business because it helped me be a serviceman. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And
there you go.
I knew the way that the hotel was teaching me how I needed to conduct myself with the guests was how I needed to treat my people. You know what I'm saying? Anybody come through these doors, I treat them like they in a 5-star hotel. I be trying to, you know, put my team on and be telling them to think like the Ritz-Carlton.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every time you come in here, you go in boxing gyms, it could be funky, it could be dirty. You know what I mean? We keep it clean. We like the sage, we like the incense. We keep the floor clean because that came from the hospitality business, being up in that hotel where everything $4 and everything's about smelling good, looking good, because it makes the guests feel invited. You know, it makes them feel good, and that's the same thing I put into my establishment here, as well as into my acumen when I'm dealing with. I'm trying to always find a way to make sure that our customers are satisfied and they're getting exactly what they paid for, getting exactly what we said we were going to give them. And right now, you know, prayerfully, thankfully, by the grace of God, we are 5-star on Google, the highest rated boxing gym in Atlanta right now. So
congratulations.
we doing our thing. 5 stars on Google, highest rated boxing gym, and we got some of the best comments, you know, the things that people are saying about our facility and our establishment. It's incredible, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. It's a blessing, a true blessing.
Yes, yes, yes. So after after that, when you started taking boxing serious when you got into the ring at when's the first time you got in the ring?
So now, okay, yeah, going back because we jumping around, but I appreciate you pulling me back and getting this story told all the way. I appreciate that because I can jump around sometime, but you bringing me back to where I left off. So we was at Decatur Boxing Club and I watched Darnell do his thing. Like I said, it didn't last, whatever, his heart went in it. But about 6 months later, I was getting in that darker space. I started jumping rope and I got to the point where I was jumping rope so hard, I thought I was already a professional. I thought I was doing my Mayweather. I'm going for an hour straight. Before I even got into the gym, I was already able to do jump rope for an hour straight. Then I finally said, all right, let me go to the gym.
Is that typical?
Nah.
Not typical, but like, is that what pros do? Like an hour straight?
Pros, right?
Hour long?
I mean, you know, that could be a segment of their training. They may not do that, you know, every day, but you know, it might be just a time where I'm gonna just focus on this jump rope. I'm gonna get my cardio up and see how well I can stay focused and in tune with myself, because that's what you're doing with that jump rope. It's rhythm, it's timing, it's feeling. You know what I mean? And it's autopilot on your mind. You're no longer necessarily thinking about every move. You're just doing it. And that's really one of the good things about jump rope, because when you get in that ring, you can't think about everything. You just got to do it. So that jump rope is a good precept. So about 2009, I joined the gym. It took me a minute to actually get a hold of Biggs, because Biggs, if you know Biggs, you know he's a different type of, so you might not be able to just get a hold of him, but I finally got a hold of him. I made my membership, and it probably took me about 6 months to 8 months from then to actually get in the ring. I can't remember who I sparred with first or how well I did. I know I did well, because one thing about, now I done lost some fights, I did amateur fights, I done lost some fights, I've been knocked out on my feet, but I've never got my ass kicked in the ring. Yeah, I never got one time a guy caught me on the end of a long punch. In the amateurs, they end up kind of stopping the fight, you know, if they look like anything about to happen. And my leg shook so hard when he caught me that they ended up stopping that fight on me. But yeah, like I said, you know, I knew that I could fight because I always had good experiences, even with people who had much more experience than me, you know. So it was giving me that hope, like, yeah, yo, I could actually probably do this on a high level. Just going through the vestiges, it was hard for me to keep the right training staff. Biggs, he had so much on his plate, and he was going all over the place at that time. I mean, he was training different celebrities like Usher and Kevin Hart and Jermaine Dupri. So his career was taking him in a way where, you know, it was starting to actually create a space for me to be a trainer, and then that's where my back end was coming in, me wanting to help and see everybody progress and grow and develop. I started picking up mitts. I mean, he would be out, and I started covering down classes. I was still fighting at the same time, but I was starting to put my eggs in multiple baskets, and training was a basket where I started putting more eggs in, because I was getting such a good effect. Like, you know, people was loving my training, they was loving my energy.
Which one did you enjoy more, training at the time or boxing? Or fighting?
I would say at the time, training was definitely my thing. Even though I could fight, in me, it's internally at that time, beating people down. It wasn't as fun as building people up, you know. And my space and time and opportunity was showing me that training was already starting to give me a little income. At that time, by now, we fast forward into like 2012, I had tried to do both. I worked a job at the Army Hotel as a server for about 3 years, and I was training for about 3 years, and I went to the hotel and I asked them to allow me to have 2 days off. I asked them to allow me to have the Tuesday and the Thursday off because I was taking up the youth coach position at Decatur Boxing Club. You know, and that was like 20. Actually, I was already trying to do both of them at the same time, but it was such a juggle that I would have to sacrifice one for the other. So I just asked the hotel, hey, could y'all allow me to have Tuesdays and Thursdays off? I work all the other days. They said, no, we can't accommodate that schedule. We can't guarantee that. So I quit. You know, my heart was in.
That day?
No, I gave him 2 weeks notice. I come from that. You know, go ahead and give him that 2 weeks notice. And
but you made your mind up, like, I can't. Y'all can't give me this.
Right.
I told you I work every other day.
Yeah.
Y'all can't, all right, it's fine.
Yeah.
I see y'all in 2 weeks. Don't come looking for me.
Yeah. And that's what I did. And it was just take off from there. You know, it was a slow grind. Right. But I stayed with my clients. I stayed with my children. Eventually, we built that youth program into the largest youth program in Georgia.
Yo,
we had incredible amounts of students. I've been here for 3 years, and I probably still have more students over there than I have currently right now. It was phenomenal, man.
So how many students did you have when you first took it over, and to where you left and came here?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't leave until COVID. So from 2000, from 2012, I took a brief stint away from Decatur Boxing Club where I was working at another place. It's not open anymore. It was called the Atlanta Sports Complex, and I was doing training over there for a couple years. And then at the same time, I started to couple my own first business, which was a mobile boxing gym. Right.
Get into that real quick. What's a mobile boxing gym?
So my idea was I had a truck and a trailer, and I started taking my equipment, putting it all in my trailer, like there's some tires over there, there's the battle ropes over there, like you see, I got that big heavy bag. So I was starting to take little items like that and roll them out to the park and offering sessions. I never really found out why they kicked me out of Atlanta Sports Complex, but I think that was it. The owners kind of seen like I was doing something extra, and I think they didn't really take light to it, and they ended up saying, you know, that I needed to go. So yeah, it was corny. And guess what? They closed like less than a year later. Their doors were shut down. So you know, it was what it was. A lot of the trainers that they had such a great team, but they couldn't hold on to it. Management just couldn't do what it did. The business just ended up folding. But you know, at that point, that's when I came back to Decatur, and I really started to take off as a trainer. Then I mean, I was doing so well. At that point, I might have been doing better than the owner.
Man, so
and that caused the problem. And then COVID came, and then I ended up at the house, and then this brother right here, he just walked out. That's my business partner, the one who got the first chair for the barber. Yeah, he told me about this spot. You know,
this place got a barbershop in it too. So
yeah. Catch a fade, and you can catch a fitted. You get you all the way lined up, man.
In every aspect of the word or phrase.
We get you tight. Yes, sir.
So what's the highest amount, or what's the most people you were training at one time?
I mean, we well over 100, you know, right now. Yeah, but the most. See, now boxing is a particular sport. So the training, if you really want to give them what we give them, your class size just can't be too big. You know what I mean? Because you got these teachable moments, you got this time where you got some one-on-one interaction. Everybody want to get a jewel, a little bit of a nugget. It's not like just a group fitness class where everybody just doing some Taibo style movement and not learning the technique. So I would really, in this facility, we kind of cap it around 25, 26. We got like 22 bags in here. So, you know, you might have a couple bags where you have 2 or 3 people on one bag, but we try to cap it around 25 in this facility. Yeah.
Jeez, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, but I mean, you got fitness classes out here right now. They got 100 people in their fitness class. Yeah. So, you know, but like I said, boxing is a niche. It's more of a training that you have to focus on the particulars if you want your people
Right.
to get it. And at the end of the day, when we talk about a fighter for life, you may not be with me forever, but you'll have this toolkit forever. And one day you may go to another facility, and that's where you're gonna have to represent. And they gonna, hey, where'd you learn? Fighter for life, you know, and that's what keeps the name growing. You know what I mean? Like I tell people all the time, without them, I'm nothing, because all my work is in the people.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? So if I don't have no people to show, then I don't have no work.
I agree.
So you know, I'm a stickler about making sure that everybody who comes through these doors, if you stay long enough, you will be proficient. You will know the how, the why, and the when of the sport. You know, we teach the science as well as the physical conditioning of the sport.
So, have you, out of all the people you train over your training career, have you ever had anybody go pro?
Yeah. My first fighter, Dakari Scott, was.
What's his name again?
Dakari Scott. People in Atlanta, they know him. He's well known heavyweight in Atlanta. Great fighter. He's up there with Boots, Jaron Ennis, and Boots in Philly. They doing their thing, but he was one of my first fighters. I trained him for the first 5 years of his career. At that time, I was being pulled in a few different directions, and so was he. And it was another cat that came in named Yahya McClain. Yahya McClain was a former husband to Layla Ali.
Oh, wow.
And at that time, I was still kind of up and coming coach and trainer, and I was Ubering, I was raising my family, I was married at the time, and I had a lot of things pulling on me. And I think Dakari kind of sensed that, and I think Yahya kind of came in, and they had this whole little promotional company that they was trying to start at the time. And the way things transpired, he ended up going with Yahya for a period of time. It was maybe a couple years that he trained with him after he trained with me for 5, and then he ended up with Mustafa Boxing. But right now, Dakari, like I said, is one of the most celebrated heavyweight fighters in Atlanta, and he spent the most time in his tenure training with me, first 5 years, first 6 years of his boxing career. He was one of the kids that I would literally go to his house, pick him up, bring him to the gym, take him back home, and you know, just real spirit. Never charged the kid, you know, it was all free, straight, you know, from the heart. I just seen who he was, I seen what he needed, and my mindset was, you know, big brother step in and make sure little bro straight. Yeah. So that was him. Now I got another fighter that just came back to me maybe about a year ago, and his name's Josue. Well, we call him Joshua now. He said he wanted to be called Joshua. And we looking to take him pro. And I want to give him at least about 10 to 12 more amateur fights, and then we looking to take him pro. So
what's the process of taking somebody pro?
I mean, hey, you just go get your card if you want to. Literally, you can go and just get your pro card and go pro. But it's always, I recommend that you take your time with the sport, especially for the young guys, you know, the ones that's just starting out, they got time, because the pros ain't nothing to play with. You can get seriously hurt, you know what I mean? Or you can end up just having a bum career because you did it prematurely, you know? So anybody who comes to me, I let them know, like, the prereq to go pro is to have at least 15 amateur fights, which ain't a whole lot, you know what I mean? Some pros, they got over, there's pros out here with 400 amateur fights, you know what I mean? So you still gonna have an incredible learning curve with just 15 amateur fights, but getting your feet wet in the amateurs is definitely a prerequisite when you come to a fighter for life. I'm not taking nobody pro who's not already pro, and usually if you already pro and you don't have a trainer, I'm probably not interested in training you for real.
That's probably a red flag, huh?
Yeah, you already pro, you don't have a trainer, you bouncing around, you probably already going closer to your 30s, and the thing about a pro fighter and a coach, that coach has to go on the journey with that pro fighter, and I'm just being real.
Makes sense.
You're right, I can't go on that journey with everybody. I have to pick and choose who I believe I need to go on that journey with.
Right.
So I tell fighters, some of the pros, I say, hey man, come to class, work out, we see how you do, and take it from there. But I never let them know like, yeah, I'm gonna go and take you pro without anything. The relationship has to be established first. Trust is huge between the coach and the fighter. Like it's literally like a sacred bond. It's almost like a father-son, a father-daughter, or even girlfriend-boyfriend type relationship. It's a very nurturing relationship. So that trust aspect has to be developed, because when that fighter goes in, he gotta have full faith that you're gonna help guide him through that battle.
Right.
And without that, it's gonna be delayed or second guessing, trepidation, and all of that, especially in the pros. When you start climbing that ladder, you're done. Second guessing, you're done. They gonna get you. Yeah. So that trust makes things happen.
So what? I'm sure you traveled all over the country with the boxing.
I've been my share of places, but in all honesty, we've been to Texas, we've been to Missouri, we've been to Kansas, we've been locally, Alabama, South Carolina, but I'm still a baby in the international and national boxing scene. We done did a few nationals, but I got a lot more work to do in that.
So who do you prefer to train more? Like who do you get more of a kick out of? Is it the training the kids? Because you got these kids on these posters, all these champs on these posters.
Yeah.
You get more of a kick out of training the kids or the adults, teens or adults?
Man, honestly, it's even. That's almost like saying, which daughter do I love more, my firstborn or my secondborn? I don't know how to answer. It's real even, because I love to serve and I love to give and impart into anybody, young or old. So it's almost even. Now, where I find the most intrinsic value is in the youth, because they got a lot less wear and tear, mind, body, spirit, and they got a lot further to go. They got a lot more ability to grow, develop, and you see the fruit of your labor at the end, and you see a young child grow into an adult and grow into a outright upstanding individual, and you can say that I took part in that, and that does feel good. That's a payment that you can't put a price on. So in that regard, I do probably favor the children, but man, I got some adults that have been with me so long that they just like family too. So giving that training to them is like giving it to my own people, my own daughter. It's literally just that close.
So if somebody were to, no, different question. How do you balance your home and your work life?
Just do it. Like, it's crazy. Like, from the time I get up to the time I go to sleep, I'm on go. As soon as I wake up, it's work to be done, whether it's just maintaining the house, getting the stuff ready for my baby girl, making sure that she ready to go to school, making sure that she got her snacks, making sure that the clothes is ready. All of that has to get done first. Then I gotta put on my trainer hat, my entrepreneur hat, get into the gym, make sure that the gym is clean, the gym is ready to receive the people.
What time is gym open? We got varying times. We only open for class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I don't do those classes, but it's 7 a.m. Coach Maria does those classes. I'm here Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. and then Saturdays at 11 a.m. So, right after I get baby girl off to school, I come back home, I might tighten up some things a little bit more, get myself ready. Then I'm here. It's time to do my training. I love to train. So that's, even if I'm tired, that's gonna be a little boost of energy for me. Right.
Yeah, because I love it so much that, I was coming up in the nation, and like Brother Ishmael Muhammad said, when you love, it tires you not. And so like, it's always like, for me, a little boost of energy. Then after that, it's time to put my entrepreneur hat on. I gotta make phone calls, I gotta pay bills, I gotta make sure that everything is being conducted so that the gym doors stay open.
Right.
By then it's time to go get baby girl again. I gotta make sure before I get baby girl, it's time to get those snacks in order. You know, get her home or get her to the gym, and then it's round two. Working the children, working the adults, getting ready to shut it down around 7:30. Make sure the gym, get home, feed her, make sure homework is done, and then by then I'm feeling quite tired. 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm out. Next day, do it again. Yeah, and I just do it like that. And but you know, like I say, I love it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love my babies. I love the business that I have. I love the people that I serve. So it is a long day. It's a lot of work. But I remember like a guy asked me, and this was before I had anything. I was poor. I ain't had nothing. I ain't had no car, none of that. And he was like, you know, if you could be doing anything in the world, what would you be doing? And I told him, even with nothing, I'd be doing exactly what I was doing right then, which was training people. So, you know, now here I am. You know, I came a little bit further, got a lot further to go. But it's just my love for what I do that keep me going, man. Yeah.
Jeez. So when you start out training for somebody who's trying to open a gym, what would be your advice to somebody who wanted to open up a training gym?
Yeah, stay down, man. Stay down. Stay focused. Stay in love with what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the most important aspect of giving that service to somebody else, because they feel that. And for us, like, I know what the people feel in here. They feel that energy of love, and it's a thing that's so rare nowadays that it's hard to go to an environment and go and feel like, yo, this person, like, customer service now is dead. You see what I'm saying? You see how your face just, customer service is dead.
You ain't going to Chick-fil-A.
I mean, right, but then what kind of quality food is you eating when you go into Chick-fil-A, you know what I mean? So, like, how you receive people. If you want to be an entrepreneur and work for yourself, understand the value of customer service. Understand the value of being there on time, being there with a friendly disposition, a smile on your face, ready to work, being there with a plan already in place. Because your people know if you just winging it, just, you know what I mean? Show the care and concern to the client. That's the most important part of your business. That's the one that's gonna keep your doors open. Your clients. Make sure that you let them know how much you appreciate their business. You make sure that when they ask you questions, you got an open ear. You're willing to answer it. You're not too busy. You're just brushing off your clients. You make sure that you give each of them that individual touch of yourself. Right. You know what I mean? Because when they see how much you love what you do and how much you care about what you're giving them, they happy to pay you. They happy to pay you what you're asking for. And I mean, our track record shows, it speaks for itself. Like I said, we're the highest boxing gym. We're the highest rated boxing gym on Google. And we have the longest retention rate in the industry. I have many clients that's been with me since A1. Some of the clients that I have, these are my apostle clients. And I tell entrepreneurs, get your apostle clients. Those are the ones who are going to spread the good word about your business to everybody else. Like a brother James, that's an apostle client. You know what I mean? And he spread the word to you. He done spread the word to the church. Carl spread the word. You see what I'm saying? And I got other people like that too that really keep your business growing and flourishing. You know what I mean? So key, make sure that you're taking care of your people. Remember, like, you want to be on that king stuff. Remember, real kings take care of their people. So you gotta be willing to be a serviceman when you get into the entrepreneurial game, for sure.
That candle was hitting, that thing smell good.
Yeah, it does, man. That's the soul snatcher, man. I picked the right one.
Candles from Euphoric Sensations.
Yeah, Euphoric Sensations. Okay.
Yeah.
Shouts out. Yeah.
So you said the first thing they need to do is basically change their mindset into serving, into being a servant, and serving the people that are coming through the door, ready to pay them whatever price that they ask. So the first thing to do is be a servant. Change your mindset. Be ready to serve the people.
Right, be ready to serve the people if you want that longevity. And even in the book, it said, the greatest amongst you will be your servant. You see what I'm saying? In the last day, the greatest amongst you will be your servant, man. So, you know, keep that in mind if you want to be great. Like you said, you gotta be willing to get down and be of service to these people, man. Because that's what the world is needing the most. Brothers and sisters coming to be of service to their brothers and their sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mindset for entrepreneurship is a very social mindset, and I actually consider myself a social entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Where we use capitalism and socialism, and we infuse the two. Like tonight, we're gonna have paint and sip, and we raising money so that we can afford to do our campaign for our 100 meals and our 100 bags for our homeless. So.
What's that real quick? 100 meals and 100 bags. What is that?
100 meals, 100 bags. That's a campaign that we've been running since COVID started. When COVID came about, my first mindset was like, dang, if we all gonna be hurt, they gonna be really hurt.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was kind of like, you know, what can I do to try to, you know, create some outreach and, you know, even just provide some of those basic essentials. So what we do with the bags, we do with the 100 bags, we put socks, we put snacks, we put water. Sometimes in the winter, we put the gloves, skull caps, hand warmers. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we're fortunate enough to get the kind of donations that we need, where we can pack those bags out, and then we go and pass those bags out. I usually have my sister Ace. She's an incredible cook. She cooks 100 meals, and we give them hot, home-cooked meals. As well as the clothes. Like me and James, after this podcast is over, we're gonna go back and get the clothes organized. So we'll be back out in the field, Lord willing, May 13th with the 100 bags, the 100 meals, and the clothes. And like I said, we've been running that since COVID. We've done it over 10 times since then. We've done it so often, or actually so frequently, that the homeless people actually know us. And even the last time we came, one of them had testified that he prayed for us to come that day, and sure enough, then he seen us, and we come with a caravan. It's like 20 cars. Yeah. So all the people that's a part of the Fighter for Life, a lot of them on Saturdays after boot camp. Thank y'all. Guys, y'all know how important it is for y'all to stay in the volunteer mode when we get out there and do that caravan. But when the people see y'all coming through in that caravan, 20 cars deep, we stopping at different spots, it just makes a huge impact of care and concern that, you know, I just want to keep going. So the 100 meal, 100 bag campaign is really just like a touch of love that we're putting out into the community and trying to get people to feel that. Hopefully, you know, some of those, like brother had testified, he picked himself up out of homelessness because we was loving on him. So we just try to give him that touch of love. And it's also a reconnaissance mission so that we can find other candidates, because where we want to take the fighter is actually taking them off the streets, let them come in here, get a haircut, get a suit, get a hotel, a place to stay, and be able to clean them up and get them a job, get them free training. We also have the Atlanta Mission coming every Friday. That homeless shelter is coming every Friday to get their guys trained, because like I said, we want to take them into the amateurs and professionals. So we're creating the ability for people to, we're really creating the ability for people to come from homelessness to being at the top in the professional arena of boxing.
How often do you do the 100 bags, 100 meals?
We do that. It typically comes at least once a quarter. We do it at least once a quarter, but sometimes we might do it back to back. The thing, like, I wear a lot of hats, as you see. You know, I'm talking about a lot of different things. So I'm gonna just be straight up. Sometimes my spirit ain't there to do it. You know what I mean? I got this going on. I got that going on. I got a ton of things in the pipeline that got to be dealt with, and it needs my concern and my attention, and I just don't have that abundance of energy to do the campaign. But when I feel that energy, or like even this time, Brother James, he put the energy in me. He called me, he was like, man, I just want to do something, man. I just want to do something for the people, man.
Right.
And I was already itching like, yeah, we need to do a campaign in May. And when he hit me in that spirit, it just ignited. So we set May 13th as our next 100 meal campaign. But we try to get it in at least once a quarter, because sometimes we'll go back to back, month for month.
So where tell the people where they can send donations or send whatever it is that they need to send to help out this campaign.
Yeah, right on. Guys, please visit us at theafighterforlifeproject.org. You can make your contribution there. You can even become a monthly contributor to the A Fighter for Life Project. And we don't say you gotta contribute. Whatever is on your heart, whatever is in you to give, we appreciate it. And guys, the appreciation of the people when they receive the goods is phenomenal. The only way you can really understand it is to experience it. So if you're able, May 13th, come out and meet us here at A Fighter for Life Boxing at 12:30 and get out on the mission with us and caravan with us through Southwest Atlanta and see for yourself how grateful some of these people are to have some of these basic essentials like socks and toothpaste and water and toothbrushes, all the things that we put inside the bags, the snacks, the toiletry items like hand wipes and sanitizer and things to kind of help them clean on the go, the clothes that we give them, the food that we give them. They are so grateful for it. So if you want to sew into that, remember the Fighter for Life Project.org. And then our other part of our campaign, we help our fighters become national champions. We take them to the nationals free of charge. They're able to get room, board. We've been able to get our students uniforms through the Fighter for Life Project. So it very much is a full circle thing. And a lot of the money, like I said, we raise through our own events. So we do our own fundraising. Like tonight, we're doing paint and sip as a fundraiser to help fund our projects. So, we try to make it full circle. We believe that, quality of life involves entertainment and socialization. And right now, here in Atlanta, it's like, where can you have quality, family-friendly, affordable entertainment?
Yeah.
It's very hard to find.
It's high.
Right.
High.
Everything's expensive.
Cheap.
So we try to create events and things that are affordable, family-friendly, with like-minded thinkers. So y'all stay tuned with that, and remember that every time you come and support one of these events, you're supporting the homeless, you're supporting the youth, and you're supporting the endeavors of the Fighter for Life Project.
I need to get in contact with A Fighter for Life, man, and
please
contribute any way y'all can. This is a great mission that this man has on him to help the less fortunate. Right now, we got there's a time called grind time.
Grind.
And I'm just gonna hit you with a couple questions, and you just let me know which one suits you better.
Okay.
It's like kind of like A or B.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Grind time.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Drums or flags?
Drums.
Childhood nickname.
Schmeezy.
Favorite city to visit?
Favorite?
Blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese.
Favorite wing flavor?
Hot with lemon pepper sprinkles.
My favorite too. Favorite dish, and then your favorite dessert?
My favorite dish probably be a good salmon dish, with some good vegetables on it, something like that.
Favorite dessert?
German chocolate cake or something.
German chocolate cake? Okay. Alright, sleep with or without socks?
With.
Favorite pair of sneakers of all time?
Favorite pair of sneakers of all time? Gosh. Yeah, I ain't big on that kind of movement, but I'll Just say Nike. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? Maybe I'd probably say Training Day.
Training Day?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To fly.
Fly?
Yeah.
Okay. Money or respect?
Money.
Money? Family or friends?
Family.
Family. Loved or feared? Would you rather be loved or feared?
That's always been a question. Gosh, I must have I be teetering in between both of them. Sometimes I want to be loved, but you gotta put the fear in people because sometimes they don't respect you. And first you get the money, then you get the respect. But, love.
Okay. 3 words to describe yourself. They give me 3 words to describe your business.
Bold, powerful, passionate.
That's you. 3 words to describe your business.
Anonymity. Community. And institution.
Amenity, community, and institution. Okay. When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be?
It's all said and done. I want my legacy to be for my children to be able to have access to anything righteous just based on my name. Just based that, your dad was who he was, and because of that, I'm gonna give you a shot at what it is you say you want to do.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy. Give them your IG and all your information so they can get in contact with you one more time.
Guys, check in, tap in at theafighterforlife.com. That's our website, afighterforlife.com, I'm sorry. And then check in with us, Instagram, A Fighter for Life. That's the numerical 4. Once again, A Fighter for Life. And then check us on the Facebook, Rockman Ali, A Fighter for Life. And also don't forget about our nonprofit endeavors at theafighterforlifeproject.org.
Y'all heard it here first, man. Get in contact with this man. He's doing really, really, really big and dope things for the community.
Yeah.
Tune in next week for another dope episode of Grow Through Your Grind, where we talk to people who are doing just that, growing through their grind. Peace.